Okay, we are back, just about set to go for the third quarter.
Okay, folks, we want to apologize for some technical difficulties which we've had right here. We don't know how much we have gotten for you here in the second half. Frank Cassano now sets up for Norristown from the 12-yard line. He goes for Andy Town. The ball's almost intercepted. To recap what's just happened for you, Abington, of course, took the kickoff from the Norristown Eagles up to about the 30-yard line. Charles Griffin executes a poor pitch onto the outside. The ball is recovered by number 46, Dwayne Sanders. And Norristown now with the ball from their at about the 15-yard line of Abington. Let's make it the ball at the 11-yard line. Third down and 8 yards to go for Norristown.
And the backs in the I formation. That is Van James and Jacques Rochette. Frank Cassano rolling out to his right side. Has some running room. Decides to pass it.
Why didn't he run with the ball, Alan?
One of those decisions that only he can tell us about. How's that for an evasive comment?
Boy, I'll tell you, you're really getting good tonight. Frank Cassano that time incomplete. It's going to bring up a 4th and 8 situation.
That's another play that we always point to, I think, that comes with the maturity of playing more. Frank, you have to remember, he's still a junior, whether he started all 7 or 8 games this season or not. He hasn't played and been at the helm that long, and I think as he accrues the experience, he'll become much better at making those last-second decisions. Instead, Ron Minchus going for a field goal. I don't know, I'd say go for it, even if it was 8 yards to go. A 3-pointer. Ron has a very good, strong leg, also a star scorer on the soccer team here for Norristown. He gets it up.
It's certainly long enough. It's good. What a boot by Ronnie Mingus. And to spot that for you, what's that, about a 31-yard field goal for Ron Mingus, Alan?
Yeah, the ball, let's see, it was on the 14-yard line, so you add 10, that's 24, another 7, 31-yarder.
Oh, yeah, we'll give him a 31-yard field goal for it, and the Eagles are at least on the scoreboard. That's important. It's 13-3. And now we'll see if their defense can't pick up the slack, even if Abington doesn't decide to give it away again to them.
Well, the defense came up big with that first one, picking up that botched lateral, or pitch out, excuse me. Andy Town handling the kickoff duties for Norristown. Fielded at around the 19-yard line by Abington.
That time, Tom Washington gets to the outside on the left-hand side. He's finally knocked out of bounds by number 46, Dwayne Sanders, number 11, Billy Evans from the special teams unit for Norristown.
Ball marked at the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for Abington. Center Mike Jones coming out there on the ball immediately for the Ghosts out of the huddle. Charles Griffin, the center, or quarterback, what am I saying? Whoa. Not too much running room. Abington trying to go to the left side of the line that time. Pick up around 2 yards. Did you catch who was carrying the ball that time, Jeff?
I'm sorry, Alan. I think that might have been Roberts that time.
Chris Roberts, number 20, the sophomore tailback. Bill Freeman, of course, was just devastating in the opening half of this ball game, constantly finding some big holes. And Chris Robert, while Freeman was Mr. Inside, Roberts always going to the outside, finding plenty of room around the ends. Griffin gets it to Roberts again. This time he comes back to the right side of the line, picks up around 2 yards. He is down immediately by the Norristown defense, which has apparently come out here much more fired up, more aggressive, and they're also doing a much better job of containing Abington's rushing attack.
Much, yes. They are doing very well here in the second half. I agree with you. I think Jack Griffiths and probably Roger Grove got on their case there at the locker room at halftime. And they've shown that they were equal to the task. We were certainly surprised in the first half at the ease with which Abington ran over them.
And it is now a 3rd and 6 situation. They give it to Roberts. Roberts trying to turn the corner. He breaks one tackler's grasp, and finally he's taken down, but no, not enough for the first down, Jeff.
Well, that time I think it was Dwayne Sanders who finally made, no, it wasn't Dwayne Sanders, Mike Taylor perhaps, who finally made the play for Norristown. But let's give the credit to Brooke Bugg, who slowed Roberts down around that left side. Brooke didn't make the tackle, but he gave the rest of the Norristown team a chance to catch up and get Roberts down.
I think this is the first time Abington has been forced to punt this evening, right?
I believe you're right. And the ball, they're going to let the ball roll free, and it's going to fall dead at about the 25-yard line of the Eagles.
So Norristown, which got on the board on the last series on a 31-yard field goal by Ron Mingus.
Maria?
7:50 left to go here in the third quarter. James and Rochette open in the backfield. Frank Asano rolling back, has some pressure, eludes one tackler. He's going to be taken down, though, now at the 21-yard line. Once again, as throughout the first half, Frank Asano finding that the Abington defensive line coming right back into the pocket with him as he drops back. Of course, this is the final conference home game for Norristown this season. Just one more on tap. That, of course, the traditional Thanksgiving Day battle. 10 o'clock right here at Roosevelt Field. You can watch this Norristown Area High School cable channel. Also, for advanced ticket sale information. And, of course, remember that on Thanksgiving afternoon at 1:30, you will be seeing the tape-delayed broadcast of the Thanksgiving Day Classic.
Van James. That time, Van James broke free up the middle for Norristown. A big gain, and perhaps the biggest gain on the ground for the Eagles tonight. First down for Norristown. The ball's going to be at the 40-yard line. So Van James breaks through with a big run for Norristown.
And that was definitely a big one, especially since Norristown was facing a 2nd and 17 situation when Frank Asano was sacked on the previous play. Backs in the eye once again, lined up behind Frank Asano, this junior quarterback for Norristown. Quick toss right over the middle, and we are going to have a flag here. I believe that is either going to be a late hit. I think that's what it's going to be, a late hit.
Andy Town a little bit miffed.
And for very good reason, because the ball was past him, he was going down, and then he was speared in the back by Abington's
Pass interference is the call against Abington. And Andy Town certainly told us he expected that call from his actions after he got up off the ground. And he did get it into the ball game now, number 44. Is that Forrest Davis, Alan?
Yes, Jeff, it is.
Thank you, Alan. I'm glad you confirmed that for me.
So Norristown moving up the field very quickly here, thanks to the big burst by Van James, and now that pass interference penalty. 6:34 left to go in the third quarter. Norristown's cut their deficit to 13-3. Frank Asano dropping back, has some time, going deep, has... Forrest Davis was wide open that time, out in the right flat, but as you said, Jeff, he was overthrown.
You do the rest of the play-by-play this quarter.
We're busy.
We got to step on trucks.
Okay, Norristown with 6:34 remaining here in the third quarter. Takes over 2nd down and 10 from the 45-yard line of Abington. They go to the quick out to Andy Town. If he can elude Charles Griffin, he's got some running room, and he does. Up the sideline, Andy Town breaks free. What a run by Andy Town. He takes that ball behind the line of scrimmage on that play, Allen. Runs downfield for a 20-yard gain. Very impressive run by Andy Town.
And that was 20 yards, all made thanks to Andy Town's quick feet, because he really had no running room. He should have been down about 2 yards after he caught it.
Great play, but sorry, Alan, go ahead.
No, that is the 5th time this evening they've tried that quick little pass out to the sideline. 4 times to Andy Town. I think 1 time they tried it to Bobby Carson earlier in the contest.
Frank Asano on the quick pitch to Van James off the left side. He's got blockers out front, but doesn't use them to the best of advantages. Picks up about 2 or 3 yards, but not as big a gain as perhaps could have been gotten on that play. He had Jockeys Rochette out in front that time, but the blocking wasn't too effective. Frank Casano drops back to pass. He's got some time. He rolls out to the right. Into the middle. Ball's complete. Touchdown, Norristown. Brian Murphy, number 86 for Norristown. The Eagles are right back into this ball game. Quick strike from Norristown. Very impressive. Just what they needed, Alan.
But that shows you how good of a quarterback Frank Casano is and how much better he's going to be. That time he kept rolling out, kept his head on him and stayed behind the line of scrimmage, didn't tuck it in, waiting for one of his three receivers who were all flooded on the right side to finally break open. Finally, Murphy just got a step or two on his defender, and you could see how Casano just rifled the ball out there.
Big play in Norristown, as we said, right back into this ball game. The score now 13-10, and that missed extra point by Ripley earlier in the ball game could loom large for Abington. Timeout, Norristown.
I have not paid it.
I wanted to hear you, just wanted to tell me. Let's go past it. I can take you to dinner tomorrow, you can tell me that. I can take you to dinner tomorrow, you can tell me that. I got coupons for Roy Rogers. I don't have any money. No, we're not talking to massive money.
Frank Casano rolls to the right. He's got nobody to throw to. Oh, what a block! And he finally goes across field to Brian Murphy for the two-point conversion. Nice play by Norristown. 13-12 now the score.
And what composure by Frank Casano, just waiting back there once again, as he did on the touchdown toss earlier.
Sorry, it's 13-11, folks. The score was 13-9 prior to that score. Norristown now, Frank Casano just finds Brian Murphy on the far side. So impressive, though. And now a field goal will win the ball game for Norristown.
Well, the Eagles have made a massive comeback here. Tony Coya chiming in just as we thought.
Boy, I don't know what we do without his insight, huh? He is great.
Always the second guesser, I'll tell you.
With 5:40 left to go in the third quarter, we've seen a totally different Norristown High ball club. Andy Town with a line drive kick. Down the middle, it's going to be fielded by number 20, Chris Roberts. Bobbles it a little bit. He's got the wedge out in front of him. And he's brought down by Brooke Bugg, number 8, at the 26-yard line of Abington. So we've got 5:35 play in the third quarter. Norristown only down by 2 points now, folks. And it's been absolutely the reverse of what we saw in the first half. Abington here looks tentative. They're not controlling the line of scrimmage as they did in the first half. Norristown, conversely, has been able to move the ball offensively, and they've gotten the big breaks when they've needed them.
Wish I had somebody to talk to.
What are you guys doing? Charles Griffin hands off to Freeman up the middle. Freeman this time is stacked up by the Norristown defensive line. Gain of only about 1 or 2 yards on the play.
You're much better than me.
4:53 left to go here in the third quarter. 13-11. Norristown trailing just by 2. Eagles crowd alive here for the first time this evening. Charles
Fumble,
Griffin this time
Norristown's got the
fumbles it,
ball.
and the Eagles coming up with it. And what a second half performance. It's been like night and day for these two teams.
That's what I just said, Al. We've seen absolutely the reverse here in this second half. And Norristown, I just said, maybe they can get another big break. I can't believe that Abington is falling into their hands. Abington must be saying, what is this? Is this a rerun? We did this last week against Neshaminy. They've given the Eagles another golden opportunity.
You hit on a very key point there, too, I think. Right now, if you're an Abington player, you must be thinking about last Friday when they were up 12-0 and choked and lost 31-12. You have to have that on your mind.
Cassano under pressure. He's got 80 town. Oh, knocked away at the last second by number 10, Tom Washington. And that was 6 points. Nice play by Tom Washington, the cornerback.
Stayed cool that time, just stuck his hand out there and tried. Instead of going for the interception, just batted the ball away very smartly. And may we add also a nice pass by Cassano that time. It was rolling out to his left side, the far side of the field, and still managed to come across and deliver that ball.
The back's in the eye. The quick drop. Oh, he's hit just as he throws the ball. Billy Evans, the pass is complete. Tell you what, Alan, did you see the pushing off that I saw? Billy Evans, I think, pushed this defender that time. The official was right there, but no call. I guess, but the breaks all even out in the end or something like that. But Norristown got a break there.
Well, you know, Assistant Coach Tom Pierantozzi is also up here in the booth communicating with the headsets down on the field to the other coaches. He was saying that time, the rush is on. Everyone was coming that time on Cassano. Quick drop, he unloaded it. Billy Evans definitely made up for that earlier one where he dropped the easy touchdown. Remember on that long bomb in the second quarter.
Van James up the middle. And a big run by Van James. I'll tell you, whatever they said to those guys at halftime, it has certainly made the difference because the Norristown offensive and defensive squads have played fantastic ball here in the second half. And we certainly did malign them in the first half, but they deserved it.
I think it was the Gatorade. It was definitely the Gatorade.
Okay, that could be it.
Okay, 3:20 left to go here in the third quarter. Norristown driving, they're knocking on the door once again. Van James up the middle this time.
Touchdown!
And he gets in there. What a nice second effort that time by Van James. And Jeff, this Norristown crowd was sleeping during the first half when Norristown was playing so poorly. And now listen to him here.
All right. I'll tell you, and this is all in the third quarter. We've still got 3 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. Norristown all of a sudden has scored 17 points.
Well, we had said back in the first half that Norristown had never faced a 13-0 deficit. It would be interesting to see how they responded, and they've obviously done a very good job.
It's up. Ronnie Minge is good again. I'll tell you, that guy is just like clockwork. He does not miss extra points. The Eagles now ahead 18-13.
Oh, thank you.
I probably won't be there. My mom will answer. So just, whatever information. And you just want to copy the whole thing? Yeah.
What, lost on the last second?
That's one of the reasons.
Well, Jeff, I guess we've seen it all here this evening.
Oh, it's been absolutely two different football games. The ball fielded by number 10, Washington. Oh, nice tackle that time. That was Dwayne Sanders who made the initial hit, followed up by number 56 for Norristown, Roger Phillips.
And Dwayne Sanders has made a couple of good hits here tonight. Hasn't seen too much playing time this season, but when he's been out there, he's really been a key contributor. Is this something?
2:42 left to go in the third quarter. Once again, they go up the middle for Norristown. Nice defensive play.
All right, 2:27 left in the third quarter, Joe.
And it's 2nd down and 8. And Tony, I'll tell you, the defense for Norristown creating those turnovers, the Norristown offense able to convert them so easily when they had such a difficult time in the first half. I can't understand what makes a team so much different in the second half.
I don't really know. The only thing I can assume is that it's quite a pep talk that Coach Grove gave them.
My goodness, and once again, the Norristown defense on that run up the middle, they must have adjusted the right way because they've stopped Bill Freeman this time for a gain of only 2. It's 3rd down and, a long 5. Let's call it 6 yards to go.
And that's that same play that he was grinding out 6- and 7-yard runs with. It seemed like every time he had his hands on the ball.
And carrying people with him every time.
Exactly.
Never touch me again. This time, Chris Roberts out to the right side, and Dwayne Sanders is right there. 4th down, Abington's got to punt the ball again, and the Norristown defense really comes up big. They want to lock this game away, I think.
Right, and it's in direct contrast to what was happening in the beginning of the game, in the first half of the game. I don't think Abington kicked more than twice in the entire first half.
You know what I think this has to do with? I think it's Barry Spencer. I talked to him at halftime. I said, what did you think about the first half? He said, well, I really wasn't. I was busy with other things. I didn't see too much of the play. He said, I'm sure we'll come out in the second half and score 3 touchdowns. He may be right.
And
nice
the ball
boot.
is up. Some hang time.
Taken by Bob Carson, number 81. Bob takes it up the middle, another 5 yards, and he's into Abington territory. The Eagles will take over once again in good field position, the 47 of the Ghosts.
And, you can just see in the movement of the Norristown players, there's a lot of excitement left on that field down there. Abington has got to have in the back of their mind last week's debacle.
Oh, vocab.
Right.
Vocab 101 there.
Counting his money, I just
He's back to throw, and that's a little down and out pass again to Andy Town. This time, Andy only gets about 2 yards from that little pattern. But that's about the 4th time or maybe the 5th time they've thrown that this game.
I think right now that Norristown has been a little bit more successful with their passing game, so they can go to that pitch to Van James, and it's successful for them. They're not looking for the pass, they're not looking for the pitch, and Norristown's been able to change it up effectively enough that both aspects of their offensive attack have been successful here in the second half.
Well, I can tell you one thing. There's not an awful lot of fans leaving the game at this point in time.
Now, this should be a good ball game. What do we've got here? The end of the 3rd quarter,
right.
folks. Finally, and quite a successful 3rd quarter for Norristown as they put 17 points onto the board. 18 points, pardon me. The score is 18-13. Norristown ahead. We'll remind you, if you just joined us, the Eagles were down 13-0 at the half.